So we just wrapped up our second tournament for the Bassmaster Elite Series season at the Tennessee River out of Knoxville. Tournament did not go so well for myself. Conditions were very challenging. Catching fish didn't seem to be a big problem. It was really just catching the right fish. We had a lot of changing weather conditions, and I feel like I was able to stay on top of a pattern. Just for some reason I was not catching the right quality of fish, whether it was just the area of the lake or just my rotation or something. Just didn't seem to be working out very well. So really I went into the tournament expecting it to be a shallow water dominated event, and outside of Gussie doing what he did, which congratulations to him, great dude, congratulations for doing it all on smallmouth, because that was extremely impressive and nobody else was doing that. So that was pretty cool to see. I did not even really target smallmouth. At Southern Fisheries, smallmouth to me act a lot different than our northern smallmouths in a way. So generally I just go fishing for largemouths unless there is a really good smallmouth bite. So my plan really was to fish largemouth, as I said. So in practice, first day I get out, it's storming, it's really rainy, cold, and then it started to get a little bit nicer out throughout the day. Pretty quickly, the first morning I caught a pretty good sized fish, biggest fish I caught all week, probably in that 3 3/4, 4 pound range on chatterbait, white chatterbait, jackhammer of course. And I kind of used that to try to key in on some things, but I also just kept an open mind and really fished almost everything just to see what else was going on. And throughout practice, that day it started to get nice, and then it stayed pretty nice as far as it being sunny out. Throughout practice, it got a little bit warmer. It'd still get a little bit cold at night the first couple nights we were there, but then it started to warm up towards the tournament, which should have lined up pretty well. I think with the water level being lower, I did watch the live coverage just to kind of get a bit of a gauge on things, but I did watch that, and the water being lower definitely changed that shallow bite a little bit for us. It really made those backs of dirty kind of creeks the main thing going, I would say. I was pretty much focused on the mid to lower section of Fort Loudon. Not knowing the lake, I just knew that was where there's a good population of fish. I mean, I think there's fish in a lot of the places there, but I just knew that there was a good population of fish there, so I figured I'd just spend enough time there, I'd figure them out. And I do feel like there is a good population of fish there, relatively speaking. I just was not able to really clue in on how to get those bigger bites consistently, other than a chatterbait. In practice, I got quite a bit of good bites on chatterbait. I didn't get a ton of bites on chatterbait, but after I'd caught probably a couple, I covered the hooks, and they would hold on to it, and you can kind of feel how big those fish are, and I knew a lot of them were good sized fish. I ran that pattern the first day a lot in the afternoon. At the tournament, it did not work out for me. I did not catch chatterbait fish all of the tournament, and that was kind of disappointing because that was my main big fish thing. Mostly around docks. I was running some secondary points back in some pockets, some deeper channel swing banks too, where it would go up against around some docks and where there's some laydowns and things like that. That was kind of my main thing for the big bite with the chatterbait. I did catch most of my fish cranking. I did catch a keeper the first day on a jerkbait, but I was just cranking a little flat side, a little like orangey red craw colored crankbait. Just not very big, just a normal size, a little flat side. It was plastic, but the one I was throwing had a little bit of it didn't float up quite as quickly. I liked that because it would suspend just a hair. So if it hit off something, it would kind of just sit there. And when it's a slow, cold bite, cold water bite, sometimes that can really make a difference. That's why jerkbait's so good, because it kind of suspends there, stays right in the fish's face, and gives them, just a little bit more time to bite that bait. And in practice, that really was a big factor. I would bang it off of a lay down or some rock or a dock or something. It would delay for a second, and I just feel it load up. So that is how I would get some reaction bites, or just they would react to the bait hitting something, and then they would be right there and just gobble it up. That worked pretty well in the tournament. I did catch a lot of short fish doing so. I started running a lot of the secondary points in the backs pockets, and just a lot of pockets in general with laydowns and things like that. Especially day 2 when the rain came, I caught a ton of 13 3/4 inch fish. Cranking, I also threw the jerkbait around, caught a few short jerkbait both days. Did not get a chatterbait bite. I did not throw it quite as much as I did the first day of the tournament, but I did not get any chatterbait bites. I threw that around the laydowns, the docks. Day 2 with the cloud cover, they didn't seem to be like right on the docks per se, but they were around the docks and around the cover and things like that. It was a tough event. I definitely didn't want to start the season like this. I can't really say that I feel like I did anything particularly wrong. Just a tough tournament where you just kind of need a couple of good bites to go your way, and it just never really came to be for me. This past week, or at the St. John's. St. John's was definitely a tough one too for me, which was kind of mind-boggling to me, which I still don't really understand that one. But all I know is, it's behind us. Those are 2 tournaments that are done, and we still have quite a long season left. We got 7 of those. We're also fishing the Northern Opens this year. It's going to be plenty more time to get back into rhythm and in tune. I feel like I made good decisions pretty much the whole tournament in Knoxville. Even day 1, I did try to do some different things when it got tougher in the afternoon, because I caught my fish really quickly. Right off the bat, I caught 2 for 4 pounds really quickly, and then I just kept catching short fish. I ended up throwing shaky head on some like deeper, rockier banks and stuff, and then some like secondary points and little jut outs and shoals and things like that. Threw it around some docks. I threw a jig. I flipped a jig. I threw a jig around some docks as well when it was sunny the first day. And I never really caught anything big doing it, but I just try to stay open-minded and keep doing different things, and that's really what you got to do. You got to just stay open-minded and keep adjusting and trying, and I really just kept practicing. It was just an extension of practice from the days prior in that Knoxville tournament. So really, we're just gonna get recalibrate here. Home for a few days, and then we're back on the road to Texas to Fort to pre-fish a little bit. We were supposed to be the Sabine this week, but we got that one postponed till August. So right now I had that extra week to go home, spend a little time with the family, which was great. It was my daughter's first birthday, so that was awesome. Definitely did not want to miss that. So after Fork, we go straight to Pickwick. That tournament starts. That one was rescheduled as well. That was the same week the Classic was supposed to be. So they just flip-flopped. So the Classic's in June now. So we'll go to that Pickwick event. I think that one's going to be a pretty good event. There's a lot of big smallmouth in Pickwick. Things are starting to get a little bit warmer. I think within the next couple weeks before the tournament, the water should start warming up. The fish should start getting really active, and should line up for a good tournament, I think, just catching-wise and action-wise for everybody. So I'm really looking forward to that. That one is one I definitely will try to target some smallmouths. I think this time of year at Pickwick, the smallmouths can really dominate. And I'm not going to rule anything out, but I will spend some time targeting those there. So guys, stay tuned. We're going to get this thing figured out, and we'll get back on track. So I'm going to do my best to do everything I can keep controlling the variables that I can. And there's really not much I feel like I need to change, just tweak a few little things, and I think we'll be right back on track and ready to take on the rest of the season here.